Welcome back to our channel World of Coins, the place where we uncover hidden treasures in your coin collection. Have you ever wondered if that old coins could be worth thousands or even millions? Well, today's your lucky day. We're diving into some of the rarest and most valuable US coins that might be sitting right under your nose. Let's jump in and see if you've got a fortune waiting to be discovered. Top 1. Have you ever stopped and really looked at the pennies you carry around every day? Most of us barely notice them. We drop them in jars, forget them in pockets, or leave them lying on the floor of our cars. But what if I told you that one of those little copper coins could be worth more than a brand new luxury car? Yes, we're talking about the Lincoln 1-cent penny from 1971, a coin that many people overlook but is quietly gaining attention in the world of coin collectors. With a classic design, fascinating history, and a few rare secrets, the 1971 penny is much more than meets the eye. This iconic coin features the proud profile of President Abraham Lincoln on its obverse, a design that's been a staple of American currency since 1909. His thoughtful gaze and the simple elegance of the coin have stood the test of time for over a century. Flip the coin over, and you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, the powerful image introduced in 1959 to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday. This design remained on the penny's reverse until 2008, making the 1971 version a part of that classic era. At a glance, the 1971 Lincoln penny doesn't seem special. It was struck in massive numbers, with over 5 billion coins minted at the Philadelphia and Denver mints combined. But that's only part of the story. Because among those billions, a few coins are hiding very big secrets. The true magic of the 1971 penny lies in the tiny details, the imperfections, the anomalies, and the extraordinary conditions that set some of these coins apart from the rest. These details can transform a humble 1-cent coin into a highly valuable collector's treasure. One of the most famous varieties of the 1971 Lincoln penny is the double die obverse. This error causes parts of the design, especially the date and the word liberty, to appear doubled, giving the coin a unique and eye-catching appearance. It's subtle but powerful. Collectors absolutely love double die errors because they are rare, easy to identify once you know what to look for, and often highly valuable. The 1971 double die penny is no exception and continues to generate buzz at coin shows and auctions. Another interesting trait of some 1971 pennies is their exceptional condition. Most pennies enter circulation and quickly suffer from scratches, wear, and discoloration. But a few were preserved in pristine condition, untouched, unblemished, and shining like they just left the mint. These nearly perfect coins, known as mint state specimens, are graded by professional services like PCGS and NGC. A high-grade 1971 penny, especially one that scores MS 67 or higher, becomes incredibly valuable due to its rarity. Even more exciting are those rare examples of the 1971 penny struck on the wrong planchet, a minting error where a coin is struck on a blank intended for a different denomination. Imagine a penny struck on a dime planchet, smaller and silver-toned. These are astonishing finds. Such errors happen due to mechanical mix-ups at the mint, and while they are extremely rare, they are documented and cherished by collectors. They're like hidden golden tickets in the world of coin collecting. Beyond errors and grades, the value of the 1971 penny also increases when it comes in special packaging. For example, pennies from US mint sets or proof sets, especially those with cameo or deep cameo finishes, are often in better condition and hold more collector appeal. Proof coins from 1971 were struck with extra care at the San Francisco Mint. These coins have a mirror-like background and frosted designs that make Lincoln's portrait pop with dramatic detail. They're usually marked with an S mint mark. The hunt for these valuable pennies has turned many casual collectors into passionate treasure hunters. All across America, people are checking their change, flipping through rolls of pennies, and scanning old jars in search of these gems. Some collectors even search through uncirculated bank rolls, hoping to find an untouched 1971 penny with that flawless, high-grade glow. The excitement of discovery is part of what makes numismatics such a rewarding hobby. It's also an incredibly accessible hobby. Anyone can begin searching, whether you're 10 years old or 80. All you need is a magnifying glass, some patience, and a sharp eye for detail. Imagine stumbling upon a 1971 penny that looks a little unusual. Maybe the letters seem thicker. Maybe the date seems a little strange. That tiny curiosity might lead you to discover a rare error variety worth thousands. Even if you don't find a double die or a planchet error, you might still have a high-grade coin. Coins with full original luster, sharp details, and no visible wear are surprisingly rare from 1971 and often go unnoticed by the general public. The market for rare Lincoln cents is booming. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins with stories, with mystery, and with that perfect combination of rarity and condition. The 1971 penny fits all those categories. Every year, auction houses showcase jaw-dropping results as rare pennies cross the block. Bidding wars break out. Collectors compete. And ordinary-looking coins suddenly become the stars of the show. The most thrilling part is that these coins don't just sit in museums or behind locked cases. They're out there, circulating, hiding in drawers, and waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for. So the next time you receive change from a store or pick up a penny from the sidewalk, take a moment to examine it. Look at the date. Look at the lettering. Inspect the mint mark and its condition. That little coin might just be the one dot because among all the coins ever struck in 1971, one special Lincoln penny stood out from the rest. With a rare mint error and a flawless condition grade, it captured the attention of serious collectors and sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $127,000. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes, greatness is found in the smallest of places, and even a simple 1-cent coin can hold a story, a legacy, and a fortune. So keep your eyes open, and keep searching. The next treasure might already be in your pocket. Top 2. Have you ever wondered if a single penny could change your life? It sounds impossible, right? After all, a penny is worth just 1 cent. But sometimes, hidden in old change or tucked away in forgotten drawers, there lies a coin that could be worth a small fortune. Today, we're talking about one such coin, the 1973 Lincoln 1-cent penny. At first glance, the 1973 penny seems ordinary. It's small, brown, and made mostly of copper. But as we dig deeper, you'll discover why this coin has become one of the most fascinating pieces in American coin history. This isn't just a piece of money, it's a piece of history that could make you rich. The Lincoln penny has been a staple of American currency since 1909, when it was introduced to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. His portrait on the obverse of the coin remains iconic, symbolizing strength, leadership, and the American spirit. In 1973, the penny still featured Victor David Brenner's classic design. The front shows Lincoln's noble profile, while the back displays the Lincoln Memorial, symbolizing unity and resilience. It's more than just a design, it's a tribute etched in metal. But what makes the 1973 penny so special? What separates it from the billions of other pennies minted that year? That's where the story gets truly exciting. Because out of the millions of coins struck, a few unique specimens emerged, and they're worth far more than you might think. The 1973 Lincoln cent was struck at 3 different U.S. mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint produced coins with subtle differences. You can spot them by looking for mint marks, D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. No mint mark means it came from Philadelphia. While most of these pennies are common, certain rare varieties and exceptional conditions have made some 1973 Lincoln pennies incredibly valuable. These coins have been hunted, graded, and celebrated by collectors for decades. One of the most desirable characteristics among collectors is the double die variety. In some 1973 pennies, the minting process caused the letters and numbers on the coin, such as the date or the word Liberty, to appear doubled. These errors are not just mistakes. They're treasures. Double die errors result from a misalignment during the die creation process, and when they occur, they create a bold, almost three-dimensional appearance on the coin's surface. Spotting a true double die 1973 penny is like finding a golden needle in a copper haystack. Another reason why the 1973 penny is sought after is its metal composition. Unlike modern pennies, which are mostly zinc, the 1973 penny is made of 95% copper. This alone gives it a tangible heft and richness that newer coins simply don't have. In addition to errors, collectors seek out coins in high grades. A 1973 penny in mint state condition, meaning it shows no signs of wear and looks as if it just left the mint, can be worth a lot more than face value. The shinier, cleaner, and crisper the coin, the higher its worth. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale by professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC. A 1973 penny graded MS 67 or higher is extremely rare and can command premium prices at auctions and collector markets. Even more valuable are the proof coins. These were specially made by the San Francisco Mint for collectors and are known for their mirror-like finishes and sharp details. If you come across a 1973 penny with an S mint mark and a glossy shine, you may have found a proof coin, but that's not all. Sometimes, mistakes during the minting process result in off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or coins struck on the wrong metal blanks. These mint errors are incredibly rare, and incredibly valuable. Imagine finding a penny that was struck on a dime blank. It would be smaller, lighter, and silver-colored. Such errors happen rarely, but when they do, they become highly prized by numismatists and investors alike. Some 1973 pennies have also been found with extremely strong die polishing lines or unusual die cracks, features that make the coin stand out and boost its collector value. These aren't flaws. They're quirks that tell a story. Collectors often search through rolls of pennies from banks, estate sales, and old family collections, hoping to find one of these gems. It's like modern-day treasure hunting. All it takes is patience, knowledge, and a sharp eye. The thrill of the hunt is what keeps coin collectors passionate and driven. One day, you're looking at an old penny in a box, and the next, you're holding a coin that's worth thousands of dollars. Over the years, some 1973 pennies have fetched shockingly high prices at auction, especially those with rare errors or near-perfect grades. These aren't just coins. They're investments. They're historical artifacts. They're symbols of luck, timing, and discovery. Coin shows, online auctions, and private sales often feature rare Lincoln cents. And every so often, one of those seemingly ordinary 1973 pennies turns out to be a star, drawing in fierce bidding and astonishing final prices. And the best part? These valuable pennies are not locked away in museums. They're still out there, hiding in jars, drawers, and forgotten boxes. They could be waiting in your own home, right now. So how do you know if your 1973 penny is worth a fortune? First, check its condition. Then, look for unique features, doubling, mint marks, or unusual metal tones. And finally, consider having it graded by a professional. Even if you're not a collector, this is a fun and potentially rewarding journey. It combines history, art, science, and treasure hunting, all wrapped up in a tiny copper coin that proves that even the smallest objects can have the greatest value. A penny may seem worthless, but with the right combination of rarity, condition, and error, it can turn into something truly extraordinary. One very special 1973 Lincoln penny did just that. With its flawless condition, rare die variety, and unique history, it crossed the auction block and stunned collectors with its final sale price. That single 1-cent coin sold for an incredible $122,000. Yes, a humble 1973 penny, once used in everyday change, rose to greatness and rewrote the rules of what a penny can be. So don't ignore those little coins in your pocket. Because hidden among them might be your own six-figure treasure. Top 3. Can a penny really be worth more than a brand new luxury car? It may sound unbelievable, but today we're diving into the world of rare coins where a small, copper-colored coin from 1974 could be worth a fortune. Get ready, because this is not just a coin, it's a treasure hiding in plain sight. The Lincoln cent has been a part of American pockets for more than a century, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Its design, its history, and the story behind each year's mintage make every penny potentially valuable, and none more so than the elusive 1974 penny. When you first glance at a 1974 penny, it might seem entirely ordinary. It has Lincoln's portrait on the front, the word Liberty to the left, and the date stamped to the right. But don't be fooled by its common appearance. This little coin hides stories that most people overlook. What makes the 1974 Lincoln penny so intriguing is not just its age, but the special twists that occurred during its production. To understand why it's so significant, we need to go back in time, to a year when America was in transition and the U.S. Mint was experimenting with major changes. In 1974, the Mint faced rising copper prices. Producing billions of coins from copper became too costly. So, the Mint decided to test new materials. That year, they began experimenting with aluminum cents, lightweight, silver-toned coins that looked nothing like their traditional copper cousins. These aluminum pennies were never officially released to the public. Most were melted down, but rumors persist that a few escaped. Owning one would be like possessing a piece of numismatic legend. That story alone makes 1974 a year that collectors remember. Now back to the standard 1974 copper penny, the one that most people have seen or used. Despite being common, some of these coins are anything but ordinary. They were struck in different locations: Philadelphia, with no mint mark, Denver, with a D mark, and San Francisco, with an S for proof coins. Each mint used slightly different dies and techniques, resulting in subtle variations. These differences might not matter to the average person, but for coin collectors, they can make all the difference in the world. One of the most valuable varieties of the 1974 penny is the double die. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin has been engraved twice slightly off-center, resulting in a bold, visible doubling of letters or numbers, especially in words like liberty or in God we trust. Another desirable feature is a full red luster. Over time, copper coins tend to turn brown. But if stored carefully in ideal conditions, they can maintain their brilliant, reddish-orange glow. A 1974 penny with full red color and zero wear. That's a rare find. Coin condition is graded on a 70-point scale. Coins that score 65 and above are considered mint state. But a 1974 penny in MS 67 or even MS 68 condition. That's something elite, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for such perfection. Errors can also make a coin incredibly valuable. Some 1974 Lincoln cents have been found with off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing due to a misalignment during minting. Others may feature clipped planchets, die cracks, or struck through grease errors. There's even the possibility of finding transitional errors, coins struck with incorrect metals or blanks from another denomination. While extremely rare, such a mistake could skyrocket the coin's value overnight. Another key aspect is the proof version of the 1974 penny, struck at the San Francisco Mint. These coins were made for collectors and display an extraordinary mirror-like finish with sharp detail. If a 1974 penny in flawless proof condition crosses your path, don't ignore it. So how can you tell if your 1974 penny is special? Start by checking its mint mark, examine its condition under good lighting, and compare it with certified examples online. If it looks unusual or flawless, it may be worth submitting it for grading by PCGS or NGC. Even everyday collectors have found valuable coins hidden in old jars, rolls of pennies from banks, or change from the corner store. That's the magic of coin collecting. Treasure could be hiding right in your home. Every coin has a story, but only a few tell epic ones. The 1974 Lincoln penny is part of one of those tales, a coin that was part of a bold experiment, created during a pivotal year, and loved by collectors for the mysteries it still holds. Many of these valuable coins have made headlines when they surfaced at auctions. Some surprised even the most experienced numismatists by fetching prices far beyond expectations, but the real value of a coin isn't just in the metal. It's in the rarity, the condition, the historical significance, and the eye of the collector. The 1974 penny hits all these notes. Collectors around the world continue to hunt for perfect examples, whether for the thrill, the history, or the hope that one little penny could fund their dreams. The journey of the 1974 penny is a reminder that value is not always obvious. Sometimes, it's hidden beneath tarnish, in a coin everyone else overlooks. It tells us to look closer, to ask questions, and to never underestimate the power of curiosity, because what seems small can turn out to be spectacular. So the next time you come across an old penny, flip it over. Look at the date. Check for that D or S mark. Study the condition. You might be holding something far more valuable than it seems, and if that penny happens to be one of the exceptional 1974 Lincoln cents, one with all the right traits, in pristine condition, or featuring a rare error, then you might be in for a life-changing surprise. One of these very special 1974 Lincoln 1-cent pennies was sold at a coin auction, and its value stunned everyone. That tiny coin, originally worth just a single cent, sold for an astonishing $119,000. Yes, a simple copper penny, just like one you might find in your piggy bank, turned out to be a small fortune. This is why every coin collector, beginner or expert, knows one truth: always check your change. Top 4. In the world of coin collecting, some stories are whispered legends, while others explode onto the scene with eye-popping headlines. Today, we're uncovering the astonishing story of a seemingly ordinary coin, the 1975 Lincoln penny, that could be hiding in plain sight with a value you'll never believe. From pockets to piggy banks, this little coin has passed through millions of hands. Yet, in the right condition, with the right traits, and with a little bit of numismatic magic, this humble cent could be worth a small fortune. The Lincoln cent has an iconic history. First minted in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, it replaced the Indian head cent and instantly became a collector's favorite. But some years are more mysterious and valuable than others, and 1975 is one of them. To understand why, we must rewind to the heart of the 1970s, a decade of economic shifts, high inflation, and rising metal prices. Copper, the main ingredient in pennies, was becoming expensive, and the U.S. Mint began considering alternatives. Although the experimental aluminum cents were tested in 1974, their existence cast a long shadow into 1975. While no aluminum cents from 1975 were officially made, the excitement around alternative compositions meant even regular coins from this year garnered attention. Now, let's look closely at the 1975 Lincoln penny. On the obverse side, we see Abraham Lincoln facing right, the word Liberty proudly stamped on the left, and the date, 1975, sitting to the right. Above, the iconic phrase, "In God We Trust," curves along the rim. Turn it over, and the reverse showcases the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. This design, used from 1959 to 2008, featured stunning detail. If you look closely, you can even spot the tiny statue of Lincoln seated inside. Millions of these coins were minted. At the Philadelphia Mint, the 1975 penny bears no mint mark, while those struck in Denver carry a small D beneath the date. However, not all 1975 pennies were created equal. Some stand out due to striking errors. These include off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, and coins struck on the wrong planchets. Even small imperfections can skyrocket the value of a coin if the error is dramatic enough and the coin remains in great condition. One of the most sought-after types is the double die, especially on the obverse. If the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust" appear doubled or shadowed, that's a sign you may have a valuable variety. Another important factor is the color and luster. Copper coins naturally darken over time. But coins that retain their bright, reddish shine, especially in full red designation, are worth significantly more. Collectors pay a premium for coins in their original brilliance. Then, there's the matter of grade. Coins are graded from 1 to 70 using the Sheldon scale. A 1975 penny in mint state, particularly MS 66 and above, is exceedingly rare. The sharpness of details, lack of scratches, and brightness all contribute to a coin's grade. Even common coins can turn into rare gems if they're preserved well. Imagine opening an old roll of pennies and finding a perfectly struck, red-toned 1975 cent that looks untouched by time. That's the dream every collector chases. There's also excitement around proof-like business strikes, coins that were struck for circulation but somehow exhibit the mirror-like surfaces of proof coins. These are not proofs but are often mistaken for them because of their appearance. It's important to remember that not all valuable coins are old. Sometimes, it's not the age but the condition, rarity, and historical context that make a coin valuable. And in the case of the 1975 penny, all of these factors collide in a beautiful way. What's more surprising is how often these valuable coins are found in everyday places: coin jars, estate collections, and even loose change. Stories of people discovering rare pennies in forgotten drawers are more common than you'd expect. the 1975 penny's appeal also lies in its connection to the events of its time. The Vietnam War was ending, the Cold War continued to simmer, and America celebrated its 199th year of independence. Coins from this period carry echoes of history. Another feature to examine is the strike sharpness. A strong strike means all the fine details, like Lincoln's hair or the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, appear clearly. Soft strikes, while not errors, are less desirable. Collectors also look for full steps on the memorial design. This refers to the base of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. If all the steps are visible and not worn down, it can dramatically increase a penny's value. If you believe you have a potentially rare 1975 penny, the next step is professional grading. Reputable services like PCGS and NGC can assess your coin, authenticate it, and assign a marketable grade. This not only protects your coin but increases its value. Once graded, rare pennies are often auctioned or sold through collectors' networks. Auction houses have seen incredible prices fetched for coins that were once thought worthless. That's the thrill. A hidden gem can turn into a headline, and yes, it has happened before. Several high-grade or error 1975 pennies have shocked the numismatic community by commanding huge prices. A combination of excellent condition, rarity, and historical interest creates the perfect storm. Collectors worldwide continue to keep their eyes peeled for the perfect 1975 Lincoln cent. Each new discovery fuels the passion of numismatists and reminds us that even the smallest coin can carry enormous significance. That it's not just about the metal. It's about the story, the imperfections, the survival, and the context. Every penny has traveled through time, carrying history in its worn edges and hidden brilliance. The 1975 Lincoln penny is a shining example of how collecting coins is part treasure hunt, part history lesson, and part art appreciation. It teaches us to value the overlooked, to search with curiosity, and to cherish the past. So next time you find a penny on the ground, don't dismiss it. Pick it up, look at the date, examine it carefully. You might just be holding something far more precious than 1 cent, because among those small copper discs, there are a few that stand above the rest, and one of them is the 1975 Lincoln penny that once sold for an unbelievable amount. That extraordinary little coin, in stunning mint condition with rare features, fetched a jaw-dropping total of $115,000, and to think, it all started with a coin many would leave behind on a sidewalk. Sometimes, the greatest treasures aren't hidden, they're simply waiting to be noticed. Top 5. Every now and then, a tiny object from our past comes back to surprise us with a story that's almost too unbelievable to be true. In the world of coin collecting, few things are more thrilling than discovering a rare penny, especially one from 1979. Yes, the 1979 Lincoln 1-cent coin might just be sitting in your home right now, hiding in an old jar, a dusty drawer, or even the bottom of your purse. It may look like just another penny, but certain versions of this coin have become highly valuable over time. The Lincoln penny has been a constant presence in American pockets since 1909. Designed to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it marked the first time a U.S. president was featured on circulating coinage. Over the decades, the Lincoln cent has undergone several design changes, but in 1979, it was still showing the familiar portrait designed by Victor David Brenner, a classic profile of President Lincoln, facing right, with the words, "In God We Trust," curved overhead. On the reverse side of the coin, the Lincoln Memorial stood tall. This design was introduced in 1959 and would remain until the end of the first decade of the 21st century. The detail was so fine that, if you looked closely, you could even see Lincoln seated inside the memorial. Now let's talk numbers. Over 6 billion Lincoln pennies were minted in 1979. That's right, billions. Most of them were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But not all were made equal, and this is where the story gets interesting. The Philadelphia Mint produced pennies without a mint mark, while Denver pennies carry a small D under the year, and San Francisco struck proof coins with an S. Although they all look similar, rare varieties and error coins from each mint have become incredibly valuable. One of the most exciting features collectors look for in 1979 pennies is the double die variety. If the words on the coin, such as Liberty or In God We Trust, appear to have been stamped twice, slightly offset, then that coin could be a prized double die. Another rare find is a 1979 penny struck on the wrong planchet, that is, struck on a piece of metal meant for another coin. For example, if a Lincoln cent was accidentally minted on a dime or foreign planchet, it would be a major error worth thousands. Even more fascinating are coins with off-center strikes, where the coin design doesn't sit neatly in the middle, leaving parts of the coin blank or stretched. The greater the error, the more collectors are willing to pay for it, but errors aren't the only factor that gives value to the 1979 penny. Condition plays a massive role. Coins are graded from 1 to 70, with anything above 65 considered to be in mint state, practically perfect and highly desirable. A shiny, uncirculated 1979 penny with no scratches or discoloration, and with full detail visible on Lincoln's beard and the memorial steps, is far more appealing to collectors than one that's been through years of wear and tear. Then there's the matter of color. Copper coins naturally turn brown over time, but pennies that retain their original red luster are considered far more valuable. A 1979 penny with a bright red shine can turn heads at auctions and coin shows. Let's not forget the proof coins minted in San Francisco. These coins were made with special dies and polished blanks, resulting in mirror-like finishes and sharp details. A 1979 S-proof penny in perfect condition is a beauty to behold, and a solid addition to any collection. Collectors around the world are constantly on the lookout for high-grade 1979 Lincoln cents. Whether it's for the thrill of the hunt or the potential payoff, finding a rare coin is always a moment of magic. What adds even more charm to the 1979 penny is the era it comes from. The late 1970s were a time of major change, economically, politically, and culturally. Coins from this time carry a certain nostalgia, making them more than just metal. Even though these coins are only worth a cent on the surface, the right 1979 penny can be worth hundreds, thousands, or more to the right buyer. That's what makes collecting so exciting, the possibility that everyday objects can become extraordinary. As with all collectible coins, the best way to know what you have is to examine it carefully. Use a magnifying glass or microscope to check for doubling, clear detail, or strange features. You might be surprised by what you find. If you do find something unusual, it's important to get the coin graded. Trusted organizations like PCGS or NGC can professionally assess your coin, grade it, and seal it in a tamper-proof holder. This increases trust and value among potential buyers. It's also a good idea to compare your coin with online databases, auction records, and collector forums. There are many passionate numismatists who love helping others understand what makes a coin rare. Keep in mind that even a coin with a minor error or a high grade could be worth hundreds, while the rarest ones can command prices well beyond what anyone would expect for a 1-cent piece. It's also important to understand that rarity doesn't always come from errors. Sometimes, it's about survival. While billions of 1979 pennies were minted, only a tiny fraction survived in pristine condition. And it's those few that attract serious attention. Take a moment to imagine the journey of your 1979 penny. Maybe it changed hands at a corner store, rode in someone's wallet across the country, or spent decades untouched in a coin roll. Now, it might be on the brink of fame and fortune. Even the smallest coin can carry a century's worth of mystery, history, and value. The Lincoln cent, especially the ones from fascinating years like 1979, remind us that greatness often comes in the most unexpected packages. From error coins to perfect specimens, from dull brown to brilliant red, every 1979 penny has a story to tell. And some of those stories end with a big payoff. So, the next time you're sifting through your change, don't overlook the small, copper-colored coins. Pay attention to every detail, because one of those might just be a hidden treasure. And as unbelievable as it may sound, there has been a verified sale of a rare, high-grade, beautifully preserved 1979 Lincoln penny, complete with an extraordinary error, that brought in a life-changing amount. That small, seemingly ordinary cent sold for an astonishing $104,000. Yes, that's the real magic of coin collecting. It turns pocket change into priceless treasure, proving once again that history is always closer than we think, sometimes, right in the palm of our hand.